Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time pedal show. My name is Gabor.
Wowzers. Hey, welcome along. I'm Alex, and this is the Dreadbox LETHARGY.
Lethargy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phase shifter.
Pretty awesome pedal and great looking pedal.
Yeah. A bunch of fun designs with their stuff. Cool colours too.
Yep. And like everything Dreadbox, it's integratable into the world of modular synthesizers and CV stuff. You know, we won't get into any of this in this video. There'll be other videos on that. Today we're just looking at everything basically from there down on guitar.
Yeah, as a guitar effects pedal. So they've got the guitars going through the pedal into a Mozztronics Amp Switcher. And
Andrew?
OTS Mini 20 amp is selected.
Down there, out of shot.
Clean dumble type thing.
Yes.
There's a isocab with a Celestian greenback, marks the LEWITT MTP440, and there's a Torpedo Captor X over there doing some stereo IRs. With
a video
for fun.
There.
Yeah.
And hello to Jason and Guillaume.
So we're going to check out the phase shifter. If you get it, like and subscribe on the channel, give us a thumbs up, ding the bell, leave us a comment, all that jazz. That'd be cool. Oh, and a Sire S7 is guitar, and you got a Fano
Omnis
blue guitar.
MG6.
Yes.
Which are both quite lovely guitars.
So formalities out of the way.
Yes, indubitably.
So
the lethargy. I've just got the instruction manual here. So lethargy. So the whole thing is, I like this series. So this you can watch. We did a video on the Komorebi. We did it up here, which is a really cool flanger, and it's this whole kind of series of kind of somewhat Japanese-looking styled kind of pedals.
Yeah.
And I like the whole. There's like a story kind of almost behind it. So lethargy. Lethargy derives from the Greek word of forgetfulness. Lete, I guess it would be pronounced in lete in Greek. It's a state of being drowsy and dull, the feeling of having little energy or being unable or unwilling to do anything.
Like the word lethargic.
Like the word lethargic.
Yes.
And that's the first thing I think of when I think of phase shifter. So this big I should mention big thank you to everyone at Dreadbox for sending this out to us. This is sort of just out now. If you're watching this when this first comes out, this is actually being released today. So yeah, thanks for having us involved in this. So the lethargy, we've got similar to the Komorebi. We've got the amount knob up the top here. We've got a manual knob, a feedback knob, and a rate knob, which goes along with the LFO. And a little switch where you can change between two different LFO shapes. Now, basically, kind of similar again to the Komorebi. This kind of goes in between a static phaser, like with the Komorebi it was a static flanger, and an LFO controlled kind of version of it, right? And you can kind of blend between those two. So for example, if this goes all the way, let's turn up, I mean, that doesn't matter where that is really. If we turn it all the way down, do you want to play?
Sure.
So if we turn it on now, basically, it's like a static phaser.
It's basically a filter, isn't it?
Basically filter, yeah. Turning this is like a normal phaser. There would be something modulating this that makes it go up and down. That's what you call the rate, I guess, of the phaser. This is a feedback control. So with a lot of these things, you have a feedback loop where basically it feeds the signal back into itself. and with flanges and phases, it basically makes it more pronounced and almost more metallic sounding. So if we have the feedback all the way down, it's less pronounced. So you can you can also control it later on through CV and stuff, but let's not worry about that for the time being. So now what we have on the other side of it is we have this LFO. Now you bring that LFO in by turning that amount knob over to where it says LFO. So it's a manual here, which is that, and LFO on here. So now if I go all the way to here, basically what I just did with this LFO does that same thing, right? And the LFO, it actually says LFO rate goes from very, very slow, and it is ridiculously slow.
Is it 15 seconds or something?
The other one was 15, it doesn't say here, the other one was 15 second cycle.
Really super slow.
And it goes all the way to FM, which is frequency modulation, which you can hear it now. Which is basically, in synthesizers, you can make sounds out of it. I mean, that's, basically what synthesizers do at times. And by selecting a different wave shape, you actually get a slightly different sound.
You can hear the waveform.
Exactly. So let's not go that far for the time being. So now, for example, if we're just going to that sort of triangle wave, and we're putting this sort of at a not super fast, not super slow setting, now we're just having a phaser, basically, that we can control now with the feedback. It's ridiculously slow when you turn it right down. And then we have, which is very unusual for a phaser, you have a square wave, which is basically like an on-off kind of thing. And it sounds like that. And that clicking sound is sort of, that's what I had in the intro as well. And I kind of like it when it's sort of not in sync with the delay.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a really cool sound, and you know, getting the pulse, and all this stuff you can control with the CV stuff. But again, let's not worry about that too much right now. Now, the next thing you can do is, by moving this down, you can kind of blend the two things together, which creates kind of different sort of interesting sort of sounds. So if we put that in the middle now, so we're kind of evenly looking at both, so you kind of get this almost static filter, but you also get this modulation thing happening.
Yeah.
got to turn it on.
Ah,
I was wondering, why can't I hear it? It's
behind
on
your
now.
hand.
Yeah, it was behind my hand. So it's set to quite slow. I mean, it's already ridiculously slow, and we're only, we're just past 9 o'clock, so it goes ridiculously slow. And then you can also, if you bring in the square wave, you get even more kind of different sort of interesting sort of sounds. Maybe let's make that a little bit faster. Anyway, I mean, that's when you go into FM. But you can kind of almost tune it. It gives you like a drone kind of note. And I mean, that's basically it. I mean, it's a cool, interesting thing. And it's a little bit different than a lot of other things, because it's mainly, I think, not mainly, but I think a lot of it behind it with Dreadbox is about synthesizers and integrating it with modular synthesizers. And on guitar, all of a sudden, you're finding these sounds that are quite unusual, quite new and unusual.
Yeah, because oftentimes you have control over parameters with control voltage.
Yeah.
And to put that into a guitar well, where you usually don't have those controls.
No, that's usually built in. I mean, most guitar pedals that have like a flanger phaser kind of thing will have some sort of an LFO in it.
Yeah.
That, generates these things, but you usually don't have that much control over it other than the rate. Here it's a little bit more involved. Plus, once again, you can then start modulating some of the other knobs and creating different things. You can actually sync this knob and that knob, together. The rate, the LFO and all that stuff. You can sync it to external LFOs, and there will be a whole series, actually, including a few Dreadbox modules as well, of us integrating Eurorack into the world of guitar. So stay tuned for that. And big thank you once again to Dimitra and Yanis at Dreadbox for sending this out to us. Well, so today, launch day.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to take us out? Would you like to play, and I'll just find some sounds for you?
Sure. Should I put some delay on?
Sure. Yeah, thanks so much for checking this out. Links below to our Instagram, Facebook, our podcast, and any comments or questions, leave them below. Get to them if we can. Thanks for hanging. Play on.